Do it fucking live.
We'll do it fucking live.
We
We're
are
doing it
fucking
live.
live. We are
We're
live.
do we're doing it live. We're in this damn thing. Back here on a Wednesday night, it feels right. Ain't been able to do that in a little bit.
Fucking month, it seems like.
Goddamn. Right off the top, since it's old news now, but we'll talk about it anyway while people are filing in. Austin Dillon penalty. What do we think?
I mean, I'm glad they didn't let it stand, but I didn't like the penalty, like the way they ruled it. You know what I mean? I thought that was stupid. I thought they should have just ruled it in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just been done with it. Like this waiting around till Wednesday bullshit, and then we're still talking about it now a month later. You know, I guess it finally got official on Monday. So yeah, just a whole bunch to do about nothing. I mean, I think in the end they did make the right call of not allowing that to stand. That was ridiculous. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, I think everybody's on the same page with that. That's the right call.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you
And
just
I mean,
said.
shout
Like,
out to NASCAR for like going back and looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And just like not saying, oh, winning you're in, and create this whole chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like that would not be right either. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, but I just what I don't like at all is and people always complain like they want consistency, and it's like if they ruled right there and took it, okay, but it's this like making shit up as they go, like a penalty that we've literally never seen before. We've never seen a guy just taken out of the playoffs like this because they don't like how he won.
we've also
So
never seen somebody take out two guys for the fucking win.
yeah, and that's why like
So
if they
you know what I
fucking
mean? It's like you gotta just like take it as a grain of salt and be like, hold up, this isn't right.
but I just don't like if that's the case. I'm cool with that, but like I said, call it on the spot. Like
No, I 100% agree. Like it was that's an easy call. The Cars Tour does it week in and week out. You know what I'm saying? The
it's
Cars Tour
like
has even gotten a little bit of a bad rap right now of like, man, you better not touch that leader or you are getting sent to the back. So I mean,
it'd be
I don't mind that because it creates good racing and hard racing, but also clean racing.
it'd be like you remember a few years ago NFC Championship game Rams Saints when they missed that pass interference there at the end of the game when the Rams won. It's like they missed that call. The Rams won the game. It'd be like if the NFL came out on Wednesday and it's like actually they missed this call, so the Saints won the game.
Yeah.
It's like that's not how sports work. Like, and I don't like that at all. Especially if we're in the business of trying to be like other sports, and that's kind of like what NASCAR is trying to market itself as. It's like there's no other sport where the league just takes a team out of the playoffs or
Well,
like
and it's not like we needed the information to come out Wednesday. Like we knew Sunday night that this was egregious enough that really they're really gonna let this stand.
yeah.
And then it was just like, damn, okay, that's
It's just
crazy.
I don't like the idea of anytime like when you leave the racetrack, you should know who won the fucking race, and you should know who's in the
100%.
playoffs. You should know, and like, so I don't like this whole. Well, actually, this one didn't count towards the playoffs, and it's like if they caught it on the spot there, threw him out, fine. I still wouldn't really agree with it, but I'd be like, okay, I get it. But yeah, then like when they just kind of made this shit up, like on the spot, it feels like I didn't like it at all. I honestly thought they were going to win the appeal. I'm surprised they didn't because they must have not had a very good appeal because I think if they made the case right and said like, "Hey, there's no precedent of NASCAR doing this," and plus, like you brought up the good point as soon as it came out, like broke the playoff rules. Like, what the fuck is like? You're
Yeah,
like, so
what
did
does that
Kyle
even
Larson.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, what
like
does that even mean? The eligibility or whatever. So
didn't
yeah,
meet playoff eligibility criteria. I
yeah,
think it
and
was.
like what? What does that even mean? Like, give me a ruling on that. I mean, like I said, I wasn't trying to defend what Austin Dillon did, but I'm just like, we're literally making it up as we go, and that's what we don't want for sure. So I mean, it is what it is. I think again, at the end of the day, they did get the right decision by not allowing it. Um, so yeah, here we are a month later with that final decision, or 3 weeks later, whatever it's been, and yeah, we have the playoff field just about locked up. One more to go, bud.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. You see by my title, that was a heartbreaker. I was fucking going through it after that one, man. It's been a long time since a race has had me that fucking disappointed. Like I shouldn't say a race because obviously we had Charlotte. Like that was different reasons, but just like the outcome of a race has had me that
Yeah,
distraught. Like that
yeah.
was that was
I
tough.
feel like the only thing I can compare it to was when Austin Dillon won the Coca-Cola 600, and it was Rowdy's heartbreak again. It was like, how did Austin Dillon have that much fuel? There's no way he should have had that much fuel. That's how I felt Saturday night. I literally I was like, all right, well, I know it's gonna be at least like 30 minutes for my nerves to calm down, but I went just laid down in the bed and put on some like Parks and Rec. Like I didn't even want to watch no racing, no flow racing. I didn't even want to talk to nobody. I was just like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you're better than me. I was just motherfucking everything and everybody for
Oh,
about
trust
an
me, I
hour.
was, dude. I was. I was like, fuck this shit. Fucking Harrison Burton. Are you kidding me?
I
Like,
tweeted like
God.
I haven't tweeted. I don't mind Harrison Burton. Like
I
I don't
don't
have
either,
any
but it's
issues
just
with
like
it.
literally the last place guy gets pushed in by a guy that's not even full time.
It's the
That's
every
supposedly a team car to Kyle Busch. Like it's just like you can't make it up. Like it's
e-
just, oh,
everything went Kyle Busch's way too. Like he missed
until it
all the
didn't.
wrecks. It
Until
fell
it
right
didn't.
in, like it fell
Until
right into
halfway
his
down the
lap.
backstretch of it, and then it went all out the window for Kyle Busch.
I was yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we dodged every wreck. We dodged, like it was just like, whoa, like we got a chance, dude. And I obviously had a little change on it, so I was like, oh man, this is gonna be huge. Cash a ticket and my guys in the playoffs, keep the win streak alive. Like it's just gonna be a huge night, and it just felt like it was gonna be it. If like that whole time, every wreck we dodged, I'm like, yep, where this is it, this is it, this is it.
Dude, it felt like one of those moments. Like you're a football fan like me, like college football. Like when it feels like everything's falling in the place, like for your team to pull like a huge upset. Obviously, I'm an Auburn fan. I was at the fucking Iron Bowl last year. Like it was like a
Yeah,
similar feeling
it's
to that.
exactly. It's a bad
But
beat.
yeah, like
It's
everything
literally that
just
was the definition of a bad beat in racing.
like it was the equivalent. Like literally, that Iron Bowl, Bama has a fucking bad snap. We get them to fucking fourth and goal on the 31. Like it's like this just fell into our fucking lap. Like we're getting all the breaks. Like this game is going our way, and it's like, and then obviously the fucking Hail Mary happened, and then Harrison Burton winning here was the equivalent of the fucking Hail Mary in that game.
Yeah, no
Like
doubt. And I mean, shout out to Harrison Burton and the Wood brothers. I've recently. I mean, I went to their shop for the first time last year, or their old shop down in Stewart, Virginia. I've been there a few times, but so yeah, just shout out to them getting their 100th victory as a team. That's pretty big in the sport of NASCAR. Obviously, this is like a big shot in the arm for this team. That's been looking for momentum. I mean, they haven't had a win since 2017 with Ryan Blaney. So it's been a long time coming. So shout out to the Wood brothers nonetheless, and Harrison Burton getting that job done. I mean,
no.
he was a heck of a wheelman at
Yeah,
Gibbs.
shout out to Parker Retzlaff for fucking knocking on, literally gets his first cup start in our, I think it was his first cup start. If not,
Second,
it's, oh, second. Okay.
he started at
RCR,
Richmond.
RCR affiliated car. He drives Xfinity for an RCR affiliated team, and Jordan Anderson, like, he's an RCR satellite guy. Like, everything he does is under the RCR umbrella. And he gets this chance and drives a fucking great race. You have one fucking job. Okay, Kyle Busch, RCR has a chance to get a car in the playoffs. Obviously, Austin Dillon is out. This is RCR's one chance to now get a car in the playoffs and make up for Richmond. Like, huge for the team. They're probably not going to have any cars in the playoffs now. And, like, for Parker Retzlaff to just, like, get told on the radio, do not push that 21 to a win. Line up behind Kyle Busch and ignore everything and push
He
a
didn't line up
rival.
behind Kyle Busch.
Well, he was told to.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, he was. Like I can go back and check again, but I'm pretty sure he was told on the radio to like line up in the same lane as Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
And
know. I mean, obviously he's got his own race to run. I mean, again, he's not. Richard Childress is not signing his paychecks, so I don't think he gives a flying fuck. I mean,
but if let's reverse it for a second. Let's say Parker Retzlaff, Jordan Anderson Racing, they're racing for a championship in Xfinity, and Kyle Busch is racing for RCR or Jordan Anderson Racing. You think Kyle Busch
you think
is
Kyle Busch is ever gonna run for Jordan Anderson Racing?
I said RCR Jordan Anderson Racing, just like
There's
theoretical.
that's not just because they have buy engines from them and chassis from them doesn't mean they have hardly any affiliate.
But just play a hypothetical for a second. Kyle Busch is in that position, and like Parker's going to get this win for the company. Do you think Kyle is going to put Parker Retzlaff in a position to cost him the win? No, because Kyle's smarter than that.
Again,
He sees
you're
the big
just
picture.
you can't. Yeah, it's such a hypothetical, bro. Like there's so many factors that have to happen in those 2 laps for you know what I'm saying. Like it's just yeah, you can say oh he should have done this, should have done that. It's fucking Wednesday evening. You know what I mean? It's like again, and Richard Childress does not sign his paychecks. He's doing everything he can do to get the best finish he can do for that team and his career going forward.
Well, Scott said it himself on my Facebook post, and I'm sure Richard has a big say of who's getting in that car, and I don't expect to see Parker Retzlaff in that car anymore.
That's fine.
We'll see, but I don't think it was a smart he's
Again,
a
I mean, but yet you would probably cry and say that it's stupid as shit for team orders in F1.
I mean it's different than if
Ah,
nah if Parker
right.
Retzlaff had a 2 second lead over Kyle
It's
Busch.
not, dude. It's I mean, again, Parker Retzlaff probably could drag the brake and get off the throttle, and he's still gonna get run over from behind. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't just jump out of line like that. That would be counterproductive to your race. You
Well, he
can't
should
do
have
that.
he should have lined up in the same line as Kyle.
Again, I mean,
Like
for his race, maybe that drops him a row. Christopher Bell was probably ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken.
he was.
So okay, so Parker Retzlaff is choosing fourth. He gets to either choose outside second row or inside third row. Inside third row, you have literally zero chance.
And if you make that choice, you're like, I'm doing what's best for my race. You better go in the fucking race because it'd be one thing if he won the race, but he didn't win the race. That's the problem. All he did was help the 21. He didn't win the race. He didn't improve it because he got fucking put in the wall
Again,
coming in
I
the
think you're
line.
just being a salty Kyle Busch fan and looking for an easy scapegoat.
I mean, I just like I'd say the same thing if it was any of it's crazy. Like Christopher, for example, Christopher Bell was pushing Kyle Busch. If it was Martin
They
Truex,
didn't even get they
but let
misjudged. Kyle Busch got way too far ahead
but
on
let's just
turn one
say,
and two.
just think
That's
for a
where the
second.
race was lost. That's where
Think
the
that
race was lost.
think about it this way. Think
I'm
like this.
telling you what happened.
But if Martin Truex was
Oh
in the
my gosh,
position,
why we? Who cares? It's hypothetical bullshit. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying Parker Retzlaff did something stupid. Yeah, I'm making
I'm
up a
saying he did
hypothetical.
whatever he had to do for his own race to get the best finish he could for himself.
Well, it's not what's best for his career because I
That's
guarantee
fine. You know what
if,
he thinks about Kyle Busch? Fuck Kyle Busch. I don't care
what
about Kyle Busch.
what does
Kyle
he think
Busch
about
doesn't pay
Richard
my
Childress? What does he?
fuck Richard Childress. He doesn't pay my paycheck.
Eh, He basically fucking does. I
There's
mean,
an
drives for.
alliance, bro. There's an alliance there. That's all there is. There's literally get parts and equipment from him. That's it. You're overthinking it. Beer Motorsports runs 2 races a year, 4 races a year.
But Jordan Anderson Racing is an RCR affiliate too.
Again, you're overthinking this, man. You're
So you
way
think if
overthinking it.
Richard can't go and say, "I don't want
Oh
that guy
my
in your car,"
gosh. You're overplaying this way too much. I
I
don't care.
stand by it. I stand by it. We can
Sure, okay.
bring
Parker
around the
Retzlaff,
rosy,
idiot
but
for you. Good job.
idiot,
Cool.
dumbass of the
That's
week.
all that needs to be said. You think he's an idiot? I think he did what he had to do to try to win his own race and get the best finish he could for his own race. Kyle Busch doesn't pay his paychecks. Richard Childress doesn't pay his paychecks. Fuck those guys.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, I'm just telling you
Like
what happens when you're at Daytona in your second Cup start.
Hey, I'm telling, and like, I hope he's not expecting like any breaks from Richard Childress ever, because that's I don't think it was a good
That's
career
fine.
move for him,
Richard
and it
Childress doesn't do anything for him.
and it looks bad for other team. Like if he's trying to get another job, they're gonna
If
look.
Richard Childress is that petty that he's gonna punish Jordan Anderson,
But if he's looking for another ride, is it?
you're thinking way too much into this, bro.
But I'm saying if he is looking for another ride,
Kyle
are
Busch
they?
had 25 opportunities to get a win.
But I'm saying is if Retzlaff is looking for another ride, our team's not going to look and say this guy's not a team player.
No, they're gonna say, "Damn, Parker Retzlaff finished P7, man. That's an awesome second career finish. That's great job, Parker, and a way underfunded team that only runs 4 races a year. Damn, this kid's pretty talented.
Not a team player.
He doesn't need to be a team player. He got up there. Kyle Busch didn't help Parker Retzlaff, did he? Parker Retzlaff was all up there by himself the entire night.
Well,
I mean, he
Kyle
probably
Busch
got there
was
at the end because there's a million wrecks or whatever, 3 or 4 big wrecks. But Parker Retzlaff did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I
Is it
don't
easy
agree.
to say? Is it easy to say scapegoat as a Kyle Busch fan? Sure.
I just don't agree. I mean, even his team on the
Kyle Busch-
radio,
Kyle Busch should have been better.
even his team on the radio was telling him to do
Christopher
different.
Bell should have been better.
Even his team on the radio was telling
I
him to
can't
do
believe
different.
Kyle Busch gave Christopher Bell a truck ride all those years ago, and he just didn't push him to the win. That's
Well, he tried.
ridiculous. Well, he tried hard, but he just sucked. Couldn't do it.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, Bell said what happened. He just couldn't push straight. Like
we never heard from Parker Retzlaff, have we?
Yeah, we have actually.
What's he say?
Same thing you said. Like,
fault the man for racing his own race. I love it.
hey, I mean his.
I'm
I
just
mean, you
telling
love
you,
you love spotters. You're a spotter. If your
Again-
driver fucking ignored you, would you not be pissed?
Again, who's that spotter?
I don't fucking know.
Does that spotter work for RCR?
I don't know who the spotter was.
I don't either. But that's a whole different ballgame now.
I mean, I'm sure
like I said, you can't just drop anchor and get out of line. Like, that's, one, a terrible look. You'll never get a ride again.
You're saying we've never seen guys at super speedways like make team-oriented decisions on who they push and who they don't?
I'm not saying we haven't, but this has nothing to do with team. This is an affiliate. They get parts and pieces from them. That's all this is. You're overthinking the team aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it. So look. Denny Hamlin quoted last year of saying he would push Bubba Wallace to a win over Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, because he owns that car.
Again, Richard Childress doesn't own Beard Motorsports. They just buy parts and pieces from Richard Childress. I think you're just overplaying the thing. Can you be mad at Parker? Sure. Could he have been better teammate? Maybe. But he's not a teammate. He's just in a Chevy car that buys parts and pieces from RCR.
And I mean, it's really just semantics on how serious the alliance is.
Well, and again, how many manufacturers are there or suppliers are there? 2. You either get it from Hendrick or you get it from RCR.
Well, yeah, that's what Scott said. Is like that 62 is probably going to have a Chevy motor if a Hendrick motor if Parker's in it again.
I mean,
like,
so Richard Childress is going to cut all funding off. That was silly.
I think he's going to say, I don't want that fucking guy in the car anymore.
Well, does he have a say?
If they want an RCR engine, he definitely has a say.
ECR motor. Again, I mean.
Yeah, if he wants an ECR motor.
But that's the level of petty of that is ridiculous.
Okay, Richard Childress is petty as fuck. We know that.
I'm not saying we're not, but that's ridiculous because your guy was trash tier 3 Kyle Busch for 40 or 70% of the year. Got lucky twice on super speedways to put himself in a chance to be in the picture for a win.
Hey, if there's one owner we know that's going to be petty, though,
I'm not saying
Richard
it's
Childress.
No, it's going to be Richard Petty.
That's true. Fair point.
I think you're way overblowing this. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
In
I'm a
my eyes,
butthurt. I'm a
Parker
butthurt
did
Kyle.
everything.
I'm a butthurt Kyle Busch fan. I'm not denying that.
Well, me
If it was,
too, but I didn't see
yeah,
the realistic aspect of it. Of this is this guy's second career start happened to be with Beard Motorsports. I mean, shoot, look at you talk about a team alliance. We had a quote unquote Dale Jr. driver, which is Hendrick, right, running the 62 Noah when he was running the 62. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't really matter. Like that all team aspect, I think, is just way overplayed.
yeah. I mean, I'm fully admitting, like, if it wasn't Kyle Busch, I wouldn't care. Like, this is
Yeah.
100% me being
If it was
butthurt. I'm not
Austin
denying.
Dillon, you probably wouldn't even give a shit.
Probably not. Yeah, no, I'm not like denying that at all. Like,
All
I'm
right,
not
so
sitting.
next topic then.
Yeah, yeah. That's a. I
We
didn't
didn't need
like.
to
I'm not
spend
trying to say.
15 minutes on it.
Yeah, it's a good discussion.
Uh, sure.
Eh,
Next
It's
topic.
it's the topics of the week. What else we got? Xfinity. I guess you want to start there.
Yeah, give a rundown.
Um, I didn't get to watch the whole race, but great win for Ryan Truex. Second win of the year for him. It'd be awesome to see him get in a car full time. He definitely deserves it, and he's shown that he's capable of winning races. I mean, he won a race last year. He's won two this year. Hasn't gotten a lot of starts, so I'd love to see him get more opportunities. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I did get to catch the end, and yeah, I was really happy to see him win it. Obviously, I hate anytime the caution comes out and ruins the finish. I hate it, but was very happy for Ryan. And as you're back, I was giving the rundown. Ryan Truex saying he probably deserves a full time ride. Um, but
Yeah,
you know,
no
we know
doubt.
how
I
they.
mean, we've been big Ryan Truex fans on here for a long time. I mean, we've gone back to. I think he's gotten 3 full-time rides. That's it. 3 full-time seasons. The 16 Hattori truck, the 11 Colleague car back before Colleague was even really good Colleague, and then
BK.
oh yeah, BK. Which dang, what a
Remember
back marker that
that
was.
a little callback here.
Bankrupt BK. That's all we gotta say, right?
A little callback here, by the way. Do you remember that old the year he ran full time with BK, the Borla exhaust car? That thing was
Mm,
pretty.
I don't. The only BK cars I remember was like it's like a pink and a yellow like smoothie cars. Um, and they ran them like all year. It felt like.
Oh, I don't remember those.
They were pretty
Um,
cool. I'll have to find a picture of it.
yeah,
But
he
yeah,
ran a Borla exhaust scheme. I think it's like 2014. He ran full time. It was a nice scheme. You can look that one up while you're at it too. But
okay.
he's had quite the adventure, and it's like
Oh yeah, the
cool to see him.
'83 boy. Yeah, with the exhaust on the side, it kind of looks like a modified.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, he's had quite the adventure though. It's awesome to see him get this opportunity, and yeah, good for him. I don't have much to add on the race itself because I was kind of like casually watching it and caught the end. But obviously, like I said, hate to see any finish where, especially on a super speedway, when the caution comes out and like it feels like you get robbed of a great finish, and it was kind of like that here.
Yeah, I
Um,
was out drinking some beers, so I did not actually watch the race. I was keeping an eye on it, see how my drivers were doing, but it did not turn out well for me. I think
yeah, I did,
my one Austin Hill got damaged lap one.
oh my god, I don't know
So
what like I didn't. I had fucking I had Austin Hill and or not Sheldon, Jesse Love. Those both did not go well.
yeah, I had the Love Machine as well.
Man, another second for Parker Kligerman, by the way. Like, I feel like he's finished second on super speedways so many times at this point. Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah, no doubt.
And, like, yeah, that sucks to see that for Parker that he didn't get a chance to make a play to win it. But
Yeah, but shout
I'm
out to Ryan Truex again, second win of the year. Um,
I'm sure
so
Parker wouldn't have pushed Harrison Burton. He's an RCR guy, too.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure if Parker got a chance in the Cup Series, he wouldn't go for the win, and that wouldn't be his first time in the Cup Series.
Yeah, that's true. What was that? Swan Racing?
Yeah,
Him and Cole Witt, they ran like half a season. I do remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
But
like Parker though, man. I'm hoping to see him get it. Like I think it's awesome, and I think it's really cool that he still drives full time and does the TV full time too. I think it's pretty badass.
yeah, definitely. I enjoy his great commentary, and if you don't follow him on Instagram, you should. He's a great follow. Um, he creates some good shorts on there, and has some fun with the fans. So yeah, I said I didn't get to see the finish. Obviously, you said it ended under yellow, but that's always unfortunate. But shout out to Ryan Truex. I said we are big fans of that. I said I think a guy that does deserve a full time ride. Hopefully, his brother can help him out and get him some
This
money.
guy agrees.
Who's that?
Guy right here.
Oh, I thought somebody was maybe commenting.
That motherfucker hates getting picked up so much.
All
Um,
right.
I don't got much else to add on Xfinity, but yeah, just I want to see Ryan Truex get more chances, get a full time ride. I like how nobody knows how NASCAR works. So it's so funny seeing the comments like, "Why doesn't Martin get him a ride?" That's
No, it
not
was
how it
actually
fucking works.
he was on DBC this week, and it was actually a really good interview, um, talking about how like he's had obviously had opportunities, but he wants to be able to win. You know, he doesn't want to just ride around in the back. So that's one a big thing, and then two, trying to piece a whole year together. You know, because you know you can get parts and pieces, but companies aren't just dropping that full time $20 million. You know what I mean? One company, so you got to find 4 to 6 companies to piece that together, and it's hard to just get that all together at one time.
Yeah.
Um,
And as
so
far as like the wanting to win races thing, I think we've seen that. Like I think Ryan Preece is one of the where remember he was full time at JD and oh there you go.
yeah,
He
that's
was
one of them, and
he,
then I'll pull
he
the
was
other one
full
up.
but Priest was full time at JD and left JD to run like 2 or 3 Xfinity races. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they were
But
nice.
he left to run 2 or 3 Xfinity races for Gibbs and won a couple of them, and that's what led to him getting a full time Cup ride.
Thought he ran
So
at JRM as well.
Priest,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't remember that, but I mean you could
it
be
might have
right.
been like 2 years there where he like took his money and had like a collective of a couple of races for each team.
But yeah, he did that. Chastain kind of did the same
Yeah,
thing.
because didn't he split the one before Mayer got there? Who did they have split in that car? I can't
Beats
remember.
me. I don't remember.
Oh well, not
What year
important.
was that? 2021?
Shit, dude, I
No, it
don't
was
remember.
Barry. It was Barry before. Yeah, because that remember Barry was that first year Barry ran Xfinity where he was just running a few races and he was running the car till Sam could turned 18.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, Barry in 2021, Barry ran the car before Sam turned 18. And then that's when Barry got put out of the car when Sam turned 18. And then that's the same year Barry got in the one when Michael Annett got hurt.
See,
So,
2019, he joined JRM to drive their 8 part time. Competed in 4 events,
okay.
finishing all top 10 with the highest at 4th at Pocono.
Gotcha.
Didn't get a
But
win though. That's when he
yes.
ran the planner's car.
Okay. Yes, as far as the Sam Mayer one, yeah, that was Barry.
Gotcha.
But yeah, because I do remember that because that whole year everybody was like, "Oh, Dale needs to get Barry in the car full time," and like it was the same kind of thing,
Oh,
like
see, he
funding.
got
But
the full time deal in the 47 in September, late September of 18.
yeah, and that was after he had won a couple races with Gibbs because I think he won New Hampshire in
Yeah,
that
you're right.
year
That
for
was
Gibbs.
yeah. Yup.
But but yeah, he's an example of that, and obviously like Ryan Truex is following that. It's
As
interesting
soon as
just
he
to
blocked
hear.
Elliott Sadler, it's coming back to me now.
It's interesting to hear kind of like different drivers' philosophies on that because like Corey LaJoie has like long said like I want to be in Cup, I want to run full time. Like I think once I get here, I should stay here. And yeah, I mean, say what you want about Corey. I'm just using him as an example here. but like he's not a guy that has shown that like I want to run a few Xfinity races in a good car. He's like, no, I'm a Cup driver. I want to be in Cup, and uh, obviously, I guess at this point it's
His
not working
tune
out
might
for
be
him. But
changing.
yeah,
Uh,
dude, I hope Corey side note like does runs because like
no, he's
I
had
do.
an awful year. I'll give him that. Like he's had a terrible year because like there for a while he had a long streak of finishing all the races. Like he was doing really well for the equipment that he had. And then obviously this new kid in town comes in, Carson, and is smoking him right off the jump this year. And then Zane of late, the past like month, hasn't finished outside the top 20 in the last I think eight 8 or 9 weeks. So both of those cars are running great, and then Corey LaJoy just has magnets in the right side of his car to just somehow hit the wall or flip over, or you know what I mean. Something will go
But
wrong for that team.
and
So
that's why I like the LaJoy hate. Like I guess somewhat justified, but I do think it's kind of like overkill. But either way, like
it's a little
I
justified this year, but it is like, all right, chill out. He's not been that bad.
like when he flipped, everybody's like, "Oh, look at that fucking guy! He sucked!" Like, and it's like, is that how we
Ty
react?
Dillon
Because
didn't get nearly this much hate last year when he ran literally last place with the same equipment.
yeah, or like when fucking like uh who Barry flipped at Daytona, everybody was making fun of Corey LaJoy, but everybody was like, "Ah, look at fucking Barry! Ah, what a dumbass!" Like they were Corey, like.
So I think it's just an easy target
Yeah,
with
so
the news.
that's what I was saying. Like, I want to see Corey get in a truck, get in Xfinity, and just like win some races and shut people the fuck up. Like, I would love to see Corey do that. Like, if he
Yeah.
just mic drop, got in a car, got in a JRM or whatever truck, and like won a couple races, and was like, "Yeah, I can win races, motherfucker." What do you got to say now? Like, I would like to see that redemption arc for him.
Yeah, it might it's gonna have to take that at this point. You know, obviously he's losing his ride,
It,
and I think if you want to stay relevant, and keep that podcast. You know, obviously he's got that great podcast with Flores.
yeah,
That's a great show to listen to. Very insider baseball, and breaks down the race each week from a good driver's perspective. And I guess a driver, you know, that's not really controversial. Doesn't play the black hat like Denny Hamlin. You know, gets a lot of hate. But yeah, Corey LaJoy has had an awful year. They've torn up a lot of equipment this year. It's been unfortunate. And then obviously this sudden firing mid-season. It's obviously just easy to make jokes on him. But yeah, we'd love to see him gather his money. I mean, there's been some sponsors behind him. Obviously, he got that Chili's deal earlier this year with a bunch of money at Daytona. And when we've seen him in the truck, he's been good. You know what I mean? So I think you can put together a deal to stay relevant in the top 3 series, and then hopefully work your way back up to a decent ride.
I'm wondering if the Chili's is that for Corey or is that related to like Spire and just like NASCAR in general, or is that a
Well, it
Corey
seemed like it might have
sponsor?
been Corey because he's the one that did the commercial and all that. Like it seemed
Yeah,
like it was like, and it was like a 1 race deal or 2 race deal. So it's like makes me think that Corey went out and got that money.
yeah.
So
I mean, I hope that's what it is. I didn't
I
know
mean, the
because
way
you know
he
how
was hyping it up on his like social medias and the podcast earlier this year, that's what makes you think it was him.
you you know how there's those sponsors that like NASCAR kind of like recruits sometimes, and then they like
Yeah,
hand them to a driver. I
yeah.
didn't know if it's like that's what they did
Could
with
be
DoorDash.
that, but also, I mean, Corey's also a good personality. You know what I mean? So it's like if Chili's saw a good return on that, like you know, maybe they do stick around to do a commercial, and you know, it might not be the Cup Series, but it's still the Xfinity Series. That's a big Xfinity race.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean, and especially and with a good team, you know, you're going to be up front. That's almost easier to sell sponsorship at that point.
yeah.
So
Well, I guess
again, I think he'll fall on his feet somewhere. It's at least early enough in the year to where he can kind of work some deals and find something. Where it's not this like last minute gets to say, "Help, yeah, you're done. You're not in this ride next year." Because you know these deals start getting done probably about the time that was announced.
yeah.
So it sounds like Spire has somebody obviously for the 7. Obviously they do. I mean, but it sounds like obviously somebody was already lined up and tapped for that. So
Justin Haley. That's gonna be.
could be, or maybe they it'd be interesting to see who signs Zane Smith. Maybe he
Yeah,
goes to Rick Ware.
I was
I don't
just
know.
about to
Maybe
bring that up.
there'll be
That's
some
a good
shuffling
transition.
around of stuff. But yeah, hopefully Zane Smith again lands on his feet because again that's a good stat. I think eight or nine, the last 8 or 9 races he's finished inside the top 20, which is
Oh,
really solid.
on the subject of Zane, by the way, fucking Ford just loves to fucking fumble the bag. I don't know if you saw the story that came out yesterday, but apparently he's not going to go to front row like what was speculated because Ford is mad that he left. So they don't want him back now. Ford just nobody fumbles the bag on drivers and talent like Ford. I mean, like what are we doing? So
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
they're mad he left, so they don't want him back now.
yeah. I mean, again, who else in the Ford camp is above Zane? That's what you got to look at.
Well, and another rumor that came out last week. So Kroger is going to RFK, and there's a lot of speculation. RFK is looking to expand to 3 cars, and the driver who's the favorite for that is Ryan Preece, who has been in Cup for 2 years and done nothing. But that's who Ford wants in the RFK ride, I guess.
Okay.
But I
Or
mean, I
maybe,
guess,
or is it Kroger?
yeah, I was going to say that.
Kroger, they have a long relationship with Priest.
Yeah,
Back to
I was
we
just,
just talked about that, so it's kind of come full circle there. So
when
yeah,
that,
hopefully.
when that came out though, I was just like, really? RFK, Priest, like what has Priest done to do anything to earn that? But I
No,
guess
you're
we
right.
know not everything is earned in this sport all the time.
Yeah, it's not. It's about dollars sometimes,
And
and
sponsor relationships. So I mean that could be the Kroger's. I mean because we know Kroger's been pretty loyal to Ricky
yeah.
because they like him and how he represents their. It's like Smithfield and Almirola. Everybody's just like, what? Like, what are we doing here?
Speaking of, Ricky's car this weekend was awesome. The Little Bites
Nice.
car, and
It's
they've
a good
had
one.
great paint scheme. Richmond, the box tops car was fire. Absolutely
Yeah.
great paint scheme. That
Yeah, the
purple.
guy who started the fucking firestorm.
Yeah. Shout out Ricky. Shout out Ricky.
Yeah.
Uh, So Ricky staying relevant, causing chaos, even when you're having a bad year. Stay relevant. That's the old Harvick mentality. Is when you're having a bad year, at least stay in the headlines a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Let's move into Saturday night. What'd you think, other than Kyle Busch's disappointment?
I mean, it was very, very good race. I mean, like the
I
last few
thought
supers,
one of the best super speedways in a long time.
I mean, yeah, the last few super speedways, I've liked them all. I've been at most of them, so my
That's
opinion's kind of
obviously,
clouded.
yeah. I think
But
being there is a little different.
I wasn't at this one. But like I've been to a lot of the super speedway races the last few years. Like I think last year I literally went to every single super speedway race. So like my opinion's kind of like biased. But so like this is the first year I've kind of sat at home and watched a few of them, and like the ones earlier this year. Like, but it seemed like this one, the fuel saving wasn't as like it wasn't the big story
It
like it's
wasn't as
been.
prevalent, no. And I don't know. I know there was reports of SMT not working there towards like the latter half of the race. So I don't know if that played into the factor of it. Um, I don't know, but it just didn't seem like we had that much. It wasn't as prevalent. You still had some guys that were like, "No, I'm not saving fuel. I'm going," and that actually ended up being the strategy that worked out. Got their track position early, and then they wreck, and then they wrecked later, and then if you were back in the back, you kind of got caught in it.
You saw it
Um,
on the last pit stop where it's like all the guys who took more fuel than they didn't have to wait as on like that's why Kyle I think Kyle pitted from first and then he came out like fifth or sixth because he had to wait longer for fuel.
yeah, but
Uh,
but under caution, you can do that. You can afford to hold that extra second of fuel, and not burn it. If it was green and you had to stay that extra second, your race is over. You know what I'm saying? You're done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they got lucky with how the cautions fell there, and it didn't really play into as much of a fuel strategy race. But nonetheless, it was still going to be interesting. Like I said, the fuel strategy does still be interesting because I think we're learning. The more we learn about it, the more teams are like, okay, yeah, we're going to save fuel, but also you got to get track position. So it's like a
But
game of.
The thing I don't understand about the fuel strategy part of these races is like, there's always a fucking wreck and it ends up not mattering. Like almost always.
Yeah.
I say a wreck or fucking
Well,
20
I
of them
wouldn't say
like we
there was
had.
always a wreck because
Not always. Yeah, there's
Willie
some
B,
we don't.
like you gotta still get your track position before the wreck is the thing. You
And
gotta
not in
have
this
your
one.
Well, this one played out very right in that borderline of it falling of oh it's about to stay green. You know what I'm saying? And everybody gets single file before the pit stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were very very close to that. Um,
In this one, I mean, Harrison Burton had no track position, but obviously there was just so much chaos that it kind of wiped that whole strategy element
Well,
out
yeah,
of
I
it.
mean, you had a wreck kind of stirred in the middle of the half of the field with the Barry wreck that kind of stirred right in the middle, and then I guess before that it was a wreck right in the front, and that took out a lot of cars. That's what took out I feel like the most cars was when McDowell gets turned sideways in front of the field. That's when you tear up a lot of cars, and then obviously I think things got shaken up again when Barry and Cindric get together. They're on the backstretch, and that jumbles up the order again. Um, was
Kyle
there any
Larson,
more?
by the way, fucking menace of the night.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah, he was
Jesus.
on one, bro.
Oh, everybody was ready to fucking blame
He was
Corey
trying
for that
to.
one.
Are we
Everybody was
sure that wasn't Max Verstappen in the car?
Jesus. Yeah. But I think everybody was ready to fucking like lining up with their fucking pitchforks for Corey for that
Well,
first big one and like,
yeah. Just like I've been saying, it's easy to joke on Corey.
but
And yeah, I
Larson
mean,
literally fucking shoved him right into
well,
it.
and I probably Larson was getting shoved from behind there too. It was starting to be go time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you had some. That was like right there at the start of like, okay, I'm starting to save fuel, but I still need to get track position and be in like the 8th to 10th range. Um,
Dude,
so
Larson
there's
and
the product of
Cindric
this
were
racing.
just the two cars, like in general, Larson and Cindric. Anytime those two cars were up front, they were out of fucking control. I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna call it. Like they were just loose as fuck, blocking everywhere. Like Larson and Cindric were fucking out of control. And sure enough, both of them caused wrecks. So,
Yeah, no surprise.
I mean, those two and I guess those cars were just set up really loose. Like, don't even like want to blame them, but like those two cars up front were just like out of control when they got up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. I guess we gotta talk flips. What?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to keep these things on the ground when you're going 200 miles an hour. You know what I mean? It's just like as soon as you get air
What?
under them, they want to get. They're gonna. Anything's gonna want to go up.
What was it? The thing about the roof that we were joking about.
Oh yeah, the integrity of the
The
roof.
the integrity of the roof. Like
We
they were
kept saying
going
that.
like because after the McDowell one, they're like, look how good like the fin they put in the back worked and this car didn't flip, and then like 2 laps later Josh Berry goes fucking barrel rolling and they're like, well, look at the integrity of this roof.
No, I mean they're not wrong. I mean, because like I said, we have seen like the roof collapse on some of these cars when they've flipped over. Because I mean that had to be pretty good impact on the roof.
Oh yeah, I mean
So
Brad in 2009.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
that was
mean,
a bad one.
caved in big time on Brad. That was
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
the sketchiest one to date. And then
yeah.
same with like the Newman deal. That was kind of like the roof kind of caved in a little bit. So yeah, it was definitely good to see the roof hold up
Shit, which
structurally.
which Newman won? I think that guy's had more cars land on top of him than any
2020.
guy. Yeah, there's Newman has had a few like cars land on top of him because you remember 2009 Dega when Brad put Carl up in the fence. Carl came down and landed on Newman,
There's literally
and it,
it's called the Newman bar.
yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the wreck that created that. So Newman's had a few of them.
Yeah, it also helps that he has an engineering degree from Purdue, so
Yeah.
he's a pretty
I'm
smart
surprised
guy.
NASCAR side note has not gotten Ryan Newman as just like a full time engineer. Like I guess maybe he doesn't want
Maybe he
to.
does. Well, maybe he does, and maybe he just doesn't want like. Well, he's also racing a lot.
Is he? I
Yeah,
haven't
he
seen as
races
much, but
mods. Yeah, he races some
oh.
smart mods.
Well, whenever he gets done racing, I think NASCAR should definitely throw him some money to come be full
Oh yeah.
time in the engineering department.
Oh yeah. Definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. Guy with a
Um,
lot of knowledge that's been around racing for a long time.
yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, super glad to see Barry was all right because I mean, honestly, I was kind of sick to my stomach when that happened because I didn't know what to think. Like, you're like, all right, yeah, these cars are designed to be safe when they're all on all four tires, but they're have we ever flipped a car and then sent it into the wall at 180 miles an hour like that? Was just like, what the hell? You know what I mean? I've never seen that. I don't think so. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, that is not good. Those were big impacts.
dude, and
So
that
glad to see him hop out and just be like, oh yeah, it didn't. It probably looked worse than it was. I was like, what?
dude,
Okay.
that McDowell one too, like that one was concerning because like if that car went into the fence, like that would have been bad.
Yeah, that one definitely had potential to be bad, and I kind of understand that one more. Like that one's just more of like straight up physics. Like you're going 200 miles an hour, and you get this. You have wind pushing on one side and a force coming on the other. Like it's gonna create lift. Like what I mean. That's just literally physics. Um, but no, it was glad to see it get set back down and not get in the fence because that did had the potential to be bad. And we know when these things get in the fence, they dissipate energy quickly, and that's when bad things happen.
And I was really surprised to hear Denny after Michigan because he's Mr. NASCAR fucks everything up and like he'll take any opportunity to take a jab at them if he can and he actually kind of like defended it and he was like, "Hey, I feel safe like if these cars flip." I was
Yeah, I
surprised
mean,
to hear him say that.
yeah, I mean, again, I don't think they're NASCAR is more very concerned about the driver in these flips. I think again, we're talking about these cars getting into the catch fence.
Yeah.
That's when you run into big problems.
Especially
And
that Barry one, like if there were like people there or like the ambulance was trying to come out or something, like
yeah, like
yeah,
you again, we ever flipped a car over and sent it into the wall at 180 miles an hour? Like I didn't know
beats
what was
me.
gonna happen when that car hit. You know what I mean?
You
Because it
said
was
it in our
almost
group
like
chat.
it was tilted down, right? It was like a nose down almost, so it could have like easily hit the wall and flipped over like end over end. So
You
I don't
said
know.
it in
I
our
just go ahead.
you said it in our group chat though. Like it feels like we're in the fucking 80s again. We've had 3 airborne cars in 2 weeks. Like
Yeah, obviously we've been at two the two fastest tracks on the circuit back to back weeks.
yeah,
So I think
2 of
obviously,
them.
yeah, obviously Daytona and Talladega go hand in hand. So I think obviously maybe it is a little overblown, like a hot topic of the week, hot flavor of the week because the past 2 weeks because we've seen it, obviously you've seen it in Xfinity series, but I think again it's just physics when you're going this fast and you get air under these big machines. I mean they're essentially airplanes at that point. You know what I mean when you get air under them. So I mean again I just don't think you're gonna fully have the car's 100% on the ground at all times.
Hold on. Let
Uh,
me grab. I got something to ask you, bro. Let me grab something to you so I can just show you what I'm talking about.
all right.
But
Show and tell. We'll show
yeah,
and
show
tell
and
for
tell.
folks.
What could they bring back this thing?
The
Like
wicker
what?
bill.
Yeah, would that help or
Again, I don't know how that would affect the air on these new cars. I don't think it would. I mean, they went away from
Talladega
that.
win? By the way, last
Yeah,
win.
2000.
What
Yeah.
were you saying though? My bad.
Um. Yeah, I don't know what that would do to these cars, the next gen cars. I mean, obviously NASCAR has a lot of smart folks working on these. They don't need Ryan Newman. Like, would he be a great asset? Sure, but they have a smart group of people working on this, and obviously with two more cars getting airborne this weekend, it'll be something that they're going to look at, and they have a little time now before Talladega to
Well,
go to the
Atlanta.
drawing board. Yeah, but Atlanta's not nearly as fast.
Yeah.
You're maybe running 170, 180.
Also,
There.
Watkins Glen though, because we've seen some nasty flips at Watkins Glen. So
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's necessarily something you'd see at like Watkins Glen. Like obviously what are you thinking? Like the was it?
Rudiman.
Yeah, I was thinking McDowell when he was 0-0, but yeah, Rudiman. I think that's again just a freak accident of like hitting certain areas. I mean, we've seen cars flip at road courses before, just like getting up in the grass and going, flipping over.
Yeah.
So you can flip any which way.
By the
But
way,
certainly,
great credit to them for taking the grass off the backstretch there at
think about
Daytona.
how bad those would have been. Berries would have been had there been grass.
I mean, there was one where John Hunter slid through the grass just like Priest did last year, or slid through the pavement, I guess, where Priest
Yeah,
did last year in the grass. And it's like,
yeah,
that's exactly what caused Priest to flip. And then you saw John Hunter just kind of slid through it and didn't flip or anything. Because
yeah,
when John Hunter went spinning, like he went right out of the pack. I was like, oh shit, like we might have a flip here. And he just kind of slid right through it.
yeah. Again, it's easy to make fun of it because they are like, oh, we're gonna implement this one piece, and then a week later, they only had a really 6 days, 5 days really, because they didn't come out with that part until after Monday. But they raced Monday. They,
I
you
was
know, you got
definitely, I was definitely cracking some jokes because like you could definitely tell on that broadcast NASCAR had the PR fucking was jabbing them with the knife and was like, look how safe these are. Show what we did, like that
Well,
kind of
I mean,
stuff.
again,
Like,
I think in the McDowell incident, you think that, and then obviously, like it is so funny that 5 seconds later or 5 laps later, whatever it was, you see a car almost identical to the Corey LaJoy thing just get turned sideways down the backstretch and flip right over. So it was definitely
also,
comical.
the Xfinity cars, we got issues there too. Was it Kyle Sieg that flipped there?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
and
part of it
again, I
too.
think at some point you just aren't going to get these cars 100% on the ground when you're going that fast.
Yeah, it's
Like
just a
if you
part
get
of the
air
game.
under something at 180 miles an hour, it's gonna lift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just even a piece of paper.
And every
You're
single
gonna have
time we've
lift.
seen one of these flips, though, we've seen the driver get out and be like, "Yeah," like Barry was like, "Yeah, it wasn't that bad."
Yeah. Again, my concern is not for the drivers. I think again,
Yeah,
flipping in a race car is not that sketchy of a thing. It dissipates energy very well, but getting into like a catch fence and the rapid dissipation of energy that way to a driver and or parts and pieces getting into the stands is where my concern is.
absolutely. Especially like with that McDowell one, the Barry one, like we saw potentially concerning situations with both of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
I did love watching them fucking flip Barry's car over with the fucking ratchet strap though. That was pretty funny.
It
Like,
was cool.
or tie the fucking strap around it and just yank it. Like that's like, yeah, this is still a fucking
I
redneck
mean, it's like
sport.
sprint
Like,
cars, I mean, you see flips in sprint cars all the time. It's like a normal thing. I mean, hell, even at the Chili Bowl, shit. My bad. My bad.
what the fuck was that?
Flight sim.
Ah,
uh, but I mean, at the Chili Bowl, we have a flip counter. So it's like, it's not necessarily the flip that's the dangerous part. It's just when cars do get airborne at that speed, and they get in the catch fence, that's when you run into issues.
and
So,
they've done a good job there at Daytona in particular, like pushing the seats kind of like away from the
yeah,
track to
for
make it
sure.
more. After the Kyle Larson one, they made some changes there.
Yeah.
So I mean, because we've both been there, we know like you're not allowed to like get up like on the fence
Not
there,
like
like
you used to be.
like they got
Not
the
like
fans.
that. They got that clip that goes around social media all the time of those people right on the fence, and you can't do that. Talladega, you can still get pretty close.
Yeah, but yeah, they got it like leveled off at Daytona.
Yeah, it's like a stadium, real stadium type shit.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Um, Burton wins.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a fan of the playoff system, but it's one of the topics of the week, so I have to bring it up anyway. Like, are you like, oh, it's fucking ridiculous. He shouldn't be in the playoffs. I don't think that at all. I think everybody's had a chance to win a fucking race. If you don't like it, win a fucking race. Because everybody's like, oh, it's not fair that fucking Bubba and Chastain they should have won a fucking race.
yeah. I
Like,
mean, I wouldn't mind them going back to like top 30 in points or whatever, just to
yeah,
like have some credibility to it. You know what I mean? Like Harrison
yeah.
Burton literally has the least amount of points of full time drivers. Like Harrison Burton has been pretty terrible this year.
It's definitely the most like egregious example of it we've seen.
Yeah, like, and I'm not trying to fault Harrison at all. Like this could have been anybody. It's just
Hey, he won
happens
the
to
fucking
be
race. Like, good
right,
for him.
right. I just would like to see top 30 in points. You know what I mean? Have a little bit of credibility to it. Again, he can win the race, sure, but and this still wouldn't put Kyle Busch in. You know what I mean? It wouldn't move the cut line as egregiously because to me, where it's unfair is like to Bubba Wallace, who has had literally a great year, but is
But
probably going to get cut because there's
but
just
he's
been
all.
too many winners.
I just personally, I think he's had 25 chances to win
No,
a race.
I
Just
mean,
like, yeah,
100% agree. 100% agree. I mean, again, had it still been the top 30 in points, like it's been for the majority of years, I think it's just like in, like the last couple years they changed that.
yeah.
Um,
I think last
so
year was the first year they
yeah, so I
got
mean,
rid of
again,
that.
it was never an issue before this. I just wouldn't mind seeing going back to that because again, it is an egregious example of like, damn, literally the last place guy in full times points. You could just go ride around, and if you somehow pull a win out of your ass, you're in. I
People
mean,
want to get
again,
rid of,
that is the format. I'm not knocking the format because that's the format that we started
and
the year with.
that's
That's
what
what everybody signed up to do.
a lot of people are like, they need to get rid of winning. Nah, because like I don't. I read a great article from Matt Weaver earlier this week. I don't want to get rid of winning in because it's like you look like Gateway, Austin Cindric won that fucking mattered. This
Yeah.
Daytona race, this fucking mattered. Daniel, like back in all the way in February, that second race of the season mattered because Daniel Suarez would not be in the playoffs right now if he didn't win that race.
No, 100%. And
That's
then
what I
like,
love about this format is that every race matters. Every race you can change your season. I love that, and I don't want them to touch that personally.
yeah, I don't want that to go away. I don't want that to go anywhere. I think that makes the regular season fantastic, and that's what creates this drama at Daytona of the final. I mean, usually it's the final race of the regular season, but we got one more this year. But that's what has led to this race being what it is. You know what I mean? If that was just another race, it wouldn't be as exciting. So the only change I would say is like go back to that top and 30 in points. I mean, again, you still can be pretty awful and win a race. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just gotta be a little bit better than 34th. Like, come on.
yeah. I mean, I think the closest we've seen was Chris Buescher when he won the Fog race. Was it 2016? I think he finished 30th on the dot or like 29th.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
and that's also like say this is Harrison Burton wins the the Daytona 500, right? Say this is the Daytona 500 that he wins. Now we have a whole storyline of, oh, can Harrison Burton make the top 30 in points, or he's not going to make the playoffs? You know what I mean? That's just a whole nother storyline to it when you get down to it. You know what I mean?
I
He has
think
to
they
have a good year.
I think they got rid of the top 30 rule if I'm guessing for like injured drivers. That's just pure like I'm not basing like that's just
Yeah,
my
like
guess of what.
go back to what was it 2015 when Kyle Busch won? Like that
Yep,
was the rule. Like okay, yeah, well, you can win a race, but you still got to make the top 30, and that was
because
like
that was
a
a big
big
story.
thing.
That
That was
that
like a
was a
big deal. Like, oh man, we got to have this amount of points over this amount of races right now. Like, and it never got too close, but there was a point where I'm like, damn, might not make it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
because
we might
the
not
first
get there.
couple races he came back, he really struggled. So
Yeah.
like it was like,
And then
but
he got the win, but then like yeah, it was still like, man, we gotta collect some points here. And then it was just like, oh, Kyle Busch at that point. So
I think he locked in like the week before the regular season finale.
sounds
Like he
about
really
right.
because he won 5 races that summer. I think like he really got hot that summer. And
Yeah.
had a great, but
So again, it was never that close, but I mean, I think that's just another element, another storyline that you could watch. You know what I mean? Because again, it's 34th in points. It's the last two races to go. You know what I mean? So again, I would just like to see that. Like you got to have a little bit better year than just
yeah.
ride around there. But
Um,
but shout out to Harrison. I'm not knocking him. I would knock it if it's anybody else that's 34th in points. If it's SVG next year, if he goes out and just lays eggs on the damn ovals, but somehow wins a road course, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's just like, come on, bro. You're literally hogging a playoff spot.
yeah.
First
Um,
for Bubba Wallace, who's gonna be way more entertaining in the playoffs. So there's a fine line there, I think.
yeah. Last thing I was going to say about the race, and we can move on to the upcoming weekend. But like Harrison Burton, we know he's out at Wood Brothers next year. Do we think he did enough here to get another Cup ride? Or I guess the rumor is it sounded like Bianchi said he's going back to Xfinity. But I mean,
Oh,
do you think this kind of changes his stock now that he's won a Cup race?
I do, and I mean, you mentioned a guy that might be on the move. That's the Ford guy. That
Priest. Oh, Haley.
Justin Haley. I think
Yeah.
Burton finds a home at Rick Ware.
Let's see. Yeah,
Which
Bianchi
again, I
kind of.
think that'd be a good opportunity for him. You know what I mean? Harrison Burton, I think, is better than he's proven in these 3 or 4 years that he's gotten in Cup.
Yeah,
I guess it's only
I
been
agree.
2 years.
I don't think Harrison's as bad as like. I don't think Harrison's great, but I think that car is a fucking. I like, and people are gonna because everybody thinks Josh Berry's just gonna get in there and fucking light it up next year because he's the fucking greatest driver ever, and I think people are kind of in for a rude awakening when because people are, oh, it's just Harrison. It's Barry's gonna get in there and win. I don't really think it's gonna go like people think it's gonna go.
No, the budget between Stewart Haas Racing and the Wood Brothers is night and day. This is obviously going to help the Wood Brothers, but again, I think the return on this because they don't even get the playoff money until like the start of next season, so it'll take a year or so. It's almost like they landed a big recruit, you know what I mean? And like now they gotta, you gotta work. Okay, now we gotta build our program around this. You know what I mean? They got the big quarterback. They got some NIL money now. Now they can go and piece this thing together and try to be better.
Yeah.
And granted, I mean Harrison Burton, we've seen. I mean some drivers just haven't adapted to the next gen. I mean Kyle Busch is one of them, honestly. Like yeah, he has a few wins in it, but he has not been the normal Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott, that's another great one. So Harrison Burton has I think struggled with the next gen. Um,
I mean, he was rushed to Cup too. Like his rookie year was the first year of the
yeah, I
next
think we were
gen.
all
Like,
surprised when he got announced for that ride.
yeah,
So yeah, again, I don't think he's gotten a fair shake at it. Um, it's easy to scapegoat him when he does run 34th in points or whatever. So, now I like Harrison Burton. He's a good kid, and I will say, Logan sent me the stat this weekend. We saw a Truex, a Burton, and a Riggs win this weekend, and it had a picture of all three of them, and like it was Martin Truex Jr. in the maroon one Bass Pro Shop car. It was, Scott Riggs in the Valvoline 10, and Jeff Burton in the 31 singular
hell
car.
yeah,
And I was like,
nepotism,
damn.
baby.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Nepotism, baby.
That's right. It's a family sport. It's a family sport. It was
um,
built on families.
yeah.
But no, shout
Uh,
out to Harrison. Shout out to all the Lane Riggs, Ryan Truex. It's a heck of a weekend for some new faces in Victory Lane.
yeah. Um, yeah. I guess you're ready to move on to Darlington.
Let's get it in.
Got
We've
the
already been at this an hour. Yeah, hell yeah. I got the little
uh,
throwback Skittles hat rocking.
so I guess last race to make the playoffs. It's definitely not as exciting as Daytona, but it's 1 year thing scheduling with the. I still wish I would have rather them just moved Darlington off Labor Day for 1 year and made Daytona
I
this
don't
race
know.
still.
I think there's too much lore of fans wanting to go on that holiday weekend. You know what I'm saying? If you ruin people's Labor Day weekend and take that off Labor Day weekend, it like screws up so many plans.
Yeah, like my personal opinion. I'm sure a lot of people did. I would have liked to seen them just trade Daytona and Darlington states this year, put Daytona on late, and maybe Daytona Beach didn't want Labor Day because they're obviously already going to have a lot of tourism and stuff. We know that's why they don't want it back on 4th of July. So, there's a lot of other factors, but I still would have liked to seen Daytona be like the last. But it's just a
It's
1 year
close
thing.
enough, you know.
It's not like they changed it permanent or anything. It was just the Olympic thing, and it is what it is.
Right, and again, I think even just this close to the end of the race, I mean, it almost had that feel on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Because you knew this was everybody's last chance to get in for those guys in the back,
Yeah.
for those
Hey,
Harrison Burtons. You know what I mean? For the
two,
so.
two more quick things before we get Darlington. 88 Van Gisbergen, love it.
Yeah. Also,
He's
it's cool that they have it aligned with JRM there too to get 88 all in the family there with Connor. So when Connor wants to move up or ready to move up, it'll be all aligned. That'd be cool.
yeah,
That
that's
they kind of
awesome.
kind of have that in plan. I like it. Love to see it. Yeah, hype for SVG.
They're gonna sling some fucking merch. Let
Oh
me
yeah,
tell you.
I'll probably be buying some. I can't lie.
Oh yeah, Bailey already bought. He sent me the hat today, and I was like, "You getting this?" And I was like, "Probably." And he already ordered it. Like,
Nice.
and yeah, so that was cool. Uh, Zane didn't sound too happy with it, but I mean, it's a numbers game. It is what it is. Uh, and then Mexico.
No
Uh,
surprise. Kind of the worst kept secret in the garage.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. I mean, you watch more F1 than me, so you can kind of tell me something about that track. But
Yeah.
um,
Um, I'm not sure exactly what layout they're running. If they run through the old baseball stadium, that's like the most exciting. They have like an old stadium, and then there's like a cutout that they run through for the F1 track. That or if they're going to run the same layout that they ran when they brought the Busch series there, and I believe '07.
they
Sounds
did
about right.
3 years. It was like '06, '07, '08, I think
Okay, I
maybe.
didn't realize it was 3 years. Okay, so there's some footage you can go back and watch.
Yeah,
No, it's a great
Denny
great
won
racetrack.
one, Denny won one, Montoya won one, and Kyle won one.
Okay, but great racetrack. I'm excited. I think this would be exciting for the fans. International flair. I expect it to be a big crowd down there.
And
So
Kyle Busch will be in attendance.
he's allowed to
We,
go. He's
yeah,
allowed to go. They say
NASCAR, I guess, slung the Mexican government some money.
somebody has some money.
Yeah, because they're
Somebody
just
somebody had the bag and the bag exchanged hands. We'll just leave it at that.
because I just love how NASCAR is coming out. They're like, "Yep, he's all good." I'm like, "So how'd you pull that
You might
off?"
not want to speak too much on it, my guy.
Yeah,
You might just want to leave it at Kyle Busch is allowed to race,
yeah,
supposedly.
allegedly. If he
Yeah.
gets COVID the week before the race next year, we're
Don't
not
be
surprised.
surprised. Don't be surprised. Or he has a concussion.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get some picks in. I only see the cup odds up
All right. What are you checking?
on what app?
What? Yeah.
I'm on DraftKings.
All right. Let me check FanDuel and see if there's anything on here.
Okay.
Um. So it's just Xfinity Cup, right?
Yes, sir.
So I will be coming in on. Are you doing the whole weekend?
I am taking off work Friday.
Fuck yeah! I will be coming in on Sunday.
Florence, hitting Florence. Hopefully, 2 nights of Florence. I mean, dude, I cannot believe the card at Florence this weekend. It's gonna be absolutely wild. All right, I got Xfinity odds.
All right. I don't see motorsports on here on FanDuel. Period.
I got it on
But
Caesars.
okay, I got it now. Hold up. But yeah, I'm coming in Sunday. Gonna go watch some Auburn football on Saturday night and come for the race on Sunday.
It's gonna be hot as fucking devil's front doorstep. So be prepared.
Yeah, I'm. Well, at least it's a night race.
They transition. It's a transition race.
Yeah,
I believe green flag is at 6:30, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. It's always a long fucking race.
It is yes, probably 6:15. It is 4 hours, 4 hour race last year. 4 hours 8 minutes. So, all right,
Especially in the next
Xfinity.
gen.
Xfinity is a short one. It's only 250 miles, I think. Yeah, 200 miles actually. 200 short Xfinity race. Plenty of time to go watch football for the folks. Starts at 3:30. Got some heavy hitters in the field. Got Cup regulars Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, um, Joey Logano, Noah Gregson, Carson Quapple, and Ross Chastain, and that's all the Cup guys.
You giving me
So
first pick?
yeah, go ahead.
I'll go with Justin Allgaier. He's very good here. He's won a bunch here. I've seen him win in person there a couple times. Made me a good chunk of change a couple times in person there. So it's a good track for Justin. I'll stick with the 7. Probably
Yeah,
the favorite, I imagine.
he's actually not the favorite. Second favorite
Who is Chase?
behind Christopher Bell,
Oh, okay.
which I think it's hard not to pick Christopher Bell, or that Gibbs car, I should say. If
Surprised
anybody,
Denny's not running it. Doesn't he
it's
usually do this
usually a
one?
Denny race. Yeah, Sports Clip, usually Sport Clip race for Denny. So somehow Christopher Bell's in the car. Maybe Denny's trying to change his luck with the not running this race this year. So yeah, Christopher Bell. Give me Christopher Bell at plus 350. You got Justin Allgaier at plus 375. So not much difference there. I don't hate the Allgaier pick.
What's
But
Chase?
Chase is plus 550.
It's good odds.
It's not
He's
bad.
gonna be in the mix.
Not bad at all.
He got his second career win here in Xfinity. His
And
rookie
you could
season.
get Chase plus money for a top 3.
Lock that in right now.
Really, you can get all those guys plus money for a top 3.
Really?
Yeah, on Caesars.
All right. Well, you go first for the Cup boys then.
And then, sorry. All right, I'm just gonna stick with Caesars here. Southern 500. Oh, hang on, real quick. Sorry, I wanted to go check back. Well, not with that field. Never mind. I was gonna say maybe Carson Koppel top 5, but not with that field. That field's too stacked this week. Okay. This is championship. Here we go. All right, race winner Southern 500. Oh man, we got 3 co-favorites here. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised by any 3 of these names though.
Larson's the favorite on FanDuel. He's 550, and then Reddick and Hamlin are 650.
Okay. Yeah, Caesars have all 3 of those guys at 550.
Okay.
Give me Denny Hamlin. He called the shot on the podcast. Said he's gonna win it. Give me Denny Hamlin at plus 550.
And I will be fucking pissed.
And I will secure the bag while you're salty Sally.
I mean, I'll still probably bet on him just to emotional
it's not a
hedge.
bad bet. You know what I mean? It's not a bad bet here. You know what I mean? Anytime you have Denny Hamlin here, it's like solid chance you have these. You know, you got a chance.
A lot of times I go to races, I'll put money on like Denny and Joey or that like whoever I don't like just to have like an emotional hedge in it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of redemption plus 1,800. Give me Chris Buescher. He should have won here in the spring if Tyler Reddick didn't lose his brain. So I'll say Buescher gets the redemption this time and gets to win.
I don't hate it. I kind of like it.
Good odds too.
Yep.
Top 10. I got mine. I don't know if you have yours yet, but I'll go if you
Yeah, go
don't
ahead.
have him. Surprised to see him so far down here, but plus 750.
Are you
Austin
doing it
Dillon.
again? Oh, okay.
Austin Dillon.
Okay.
Oh, you thought I was gonna say Haley again?
Yeah, I mean, might as well just give it out. Obviously, I'll ride the Haley pick because I literally was gonna pick Austin Dillon. We know he's really fast here. He's plus 700 on my end, but I'll take Haley at plus 750 on my end. You had him here in the spring, and shout out to Zach if you're listening. You were like, "What an idiot pick," and I said, I don't know. He's actually pretty good here, and it actually hit. So, shout out Zach. Shout out Travis. You secured the bag on that one, so I'm gonna ride this Haley at 750.
I'll give one. Do not fucking bet this, because you're pissing money away. Van Gisbergen 600 is insane. Like he's gonna struggle here.
Yeah.
The fact he has better odds than Austin Dillon to get a top 10 here is when Dillon's been pretty good here in the past is kind of insane. And I'm a huge Shane fan, but he's gonna struggle in this one.
Yeah, no doubt.
And another one I really liked on there. I know you'll like this because you pick him for top 10 every week. Plus 270, Alex Bowman.
Oh yeah, I was literally eyeing it as at 160 on the Caesars there. I'm telling you, he's not great at Darlington, but I think they're kind of due for a good run here. You know, they just like I think everybody's looking for a quiet week to lead into the playoffs. So I think Alex Bowman top 10. I think that's a solid play for some plus money.
Hell yeah,
that's my dog. All right, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
All right, man. We'll see you in Darlington. Yes, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned in for the socials. Social accounts will be at Florence Friday afternoon. big late model stock race. Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, Keelan Harvick, Raja Caruth.
Junior.
That's just. I said Dale Jr.
Oh,
That's just a list of non full time guys that'll be there in attendance. Josh Berry, that's another one. So yeah, Friday night at Florence is
ooh,
going to
that
be a
new Hunt
banger.
Brothers scheme is hot, by the way.
Oh yeah,
That green and camo, it's a good one.
oh yeah. I'm excited. It should be a great Cars Tour race. So if you're in town in Darlington, come on out to Florence. It'll be a great show.
And
You can
winner
get
gets the
tickets.
pole for the South Carolina 400.
That's it. That's right. Locked in for locked in. I don't know what locked in something is what this race is called. But I didn't realize it was a Cars Tour race last year. It was not, and now it is. So we real quick. We always talked about World Outlaws. We loved when they were in town, companion races with NASCAR. Anytime any series can do companion race with NASCAR, it's great for the fans. This is another great opportunity that Cars Tour is now in town. I said it wasn't a Cars Tour race last year, but it is now.
Is the
And
400 a Cars Tour race now as well?
no, that's a standalone event. That's like the
Okay.
Martinsville 300.
Okay.
So kind of a different
Um,
event, but yeah, exciting stuff. I'm excited. See you in Darlington, folks.
yes, sir.
Later.